Okay, good morning. Morning. What? Wait, hold on. I got no signal. Oh my goodness. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Ace. I'm going to be doing some art today. I'm going to try to get more progress done on this 3D model. I am making references in 3D to be used in the creation of my web comic, which is coming along just fine. It's written. I just edit it from here and there, I edit it here and there. Okay. And yeah, we're making progress on it. I just need like 6 or 7 characters. So I can start doing beginning pages. I made some changes to my system, okay, and I want to make sure that I got the right. Okay, it's actually okay. There we go. All right. Yeah, I made some changes to my system. I needed another monitor, and we are good now. Okay. Hope you had a great weekend. Celebrated the weekend, the holiday. I hope you had a great holiday as well. Mine was pretty chill. Played some Doom, and I started progress on my permanent base on Doom. So fun times, fun times. It took me a very long. It took me actually quite a bit of time to start that base. It took a lot of materials, but we're going. I got basically the maximum size that I could possibly build. I have it overlooking the sands. I can see anything of worth, crashed ships or spice blows. The area that I picked, um, two other people are also. I saw them. They also fly and look for the spice at certain times of the day, so that'll be interesting. Since I typically stream that in the morning on weekends. You know, that's what we're playing currently. I don't know how long that's going to be, but right now we're playing it. I'm enjoying it. A little janky, but enough about that. It's about art now. All right. All right. Technical difficulties have been resolved. All right. We have resolved. We have averted crises. All right. And there were some things, of course, that I forgot to do. We're going to do them right now. All right. Now, let's see. Texture. Okay, I just got it. My bearings now. Was it this? No. We're still in sculpt mode, right? Okay, yes, we are still in sculpt mode. No, we did that already. We already did the pores, as you can see. That was last week. Okay, we're on. Okay, we're still in the draw sharp brush. It's just none of the settings were saved. Okay, that's why I'm trying to remember what I did here. Okay, we got the thing right here. We got to put the alphas back on. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, and you know what? You can't even see anything, so that would help. That would help. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay, desktop. Yes, reference. I got my train of thought back. Sorry, I didn't realize the ads were playing. Don't know. It should wait. I know I don't even like mentioning them, to be honest. I'm gonna put something on the bottom underneath this viewing screen at some point just to let everybody know, and there should be a message that pops up. But apparently, I can't stop all the pre rolls. I don't know why. I have no clue why, but it's okay. I have it set to none, no pre rolls, but they still go anyway. I don't know why. All right. Let's see. Open image. No, that's not the one we want. We're gonna go back. You have to select it. Okay, wait. That is the one we want then. That's definitely not the one we want. These are only wrinkles? I thought there was another one. Well, it certainly wasn't pores, okay? I guess it was. Yeah, I get. All right, man. I don't know why I don't remember what I did. I do this all the time. No, I mean, I this part, I'm still committing it to memory, but sometimes, with with these later steps, I don't have everything down. Okay, but we're gonna be all right. All right, wrinkles. All right, alpha. Now we have. Oh yeah. Now we go up here. All right, brush type, right? I do believe the brush type was area. No, sorry, this is it. No, that's not it either. What? Okay, here we are. Yeah, areas good. Okay, cool. All right, stroke method. Anchored. That's what we're going to be doing. It's basically click and drag. That's the way I put them on. It's very easy to do like that. I don't airbrush these details particularly. I like to stretch them. And okay, sample bias. Okay, 0.03. Oh wait, hold up. No, we gotta put a negative there. There we go. Much better. That's zero. No, that's 0.03. We went 0.3. Sorry. Even though that's what I said. It's not what I want, actually. Okay. And the strength. All right, we're back. 0.16. I have these numbers written down. It's a lot to keep track of. So that's why I'm a little, but we got it. Okay. All right. We did everything regarding the face. So now there are some neck wrinkles that I wanted to do. Those are not the neck wrinkles that we want to do. Okay. I wanted to make sure the symmetry was off. That is that's a lot of neck wrinkles. Let's not do that. All right. What if I increase the radius for that? That's still a lot. He's not that old. I'm making a middle aged man. Okay, so he's gonna have a little bit of wrinkles here. I'm just trying to get the right amount. I think maybe we got to go smaller for this, and maybe a little higher. Let's see, I don't looking at my own neck. I don't have those wrinkles actually, so it does like even younger people will have them to some extent, but not always. Okay, I wanted to add them on this person. Here we go. Let's put a little bit there. Kind of wanted to follow the neckline a little bit. Kind of have like a little. That's yeah. It's very subtle. That's fine. Okay. Now let's try the. There's going to be some lines here too around the armpit. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that. There's just one problem. Those are sticking out. I want them to be in. These are innies and not out. Wait, hold on. Wait. That's good enough. That's good enough. Okay. I wanted to make sure that I was holding control for that because sometimes I hold control when I shouldn't, and I don't hold control when I should. So I'm gonna make sure that we got that done. I can tell the difference between basically if I put them on like this, you can see they're raised, okay? Like welts, like scratches. It's not what we're looking for. I hold control down, okay? And it's more like wrinkles or scars, which is what this is, a wrinkle. So we want to make sure that, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and undo that because we want symmetry for this. This is for both armpits. And they don't have to be super prominent. We're just going to make them nice and subtle. This is probably something that will never show in the comic book, by the way. This is more like just refining 3D modeling in general. You know, I think we've been doing a little bit more than that than actually working on the progress of the comic, to be fair. But you know, I'm enjoying it, and we will get there. And I'm documenting this entire process on this specific sculpt. Okay, once I'm done with this sculpt, and we are near the end. Make no mistake, we're almost done. All I got to do is bake this. I got to do, you know, the clothes. Then there's textures, and then there's the rigging. And once the rigging is complete, then we're good. And oh yeah, and the hair, sorry, of course. But once that's done, then we're done with this. All right, and we can. And when I do another sculpt, you're only going to see a part of it. I'm not going to try to show as much as possible. It's like wherever I land on, what I'm thinking about doing is making a designated day for 3D modeling, and then when I want to do another art stream, because I normally do three. I've been doing two weekly, and sometimes one if you know schedule allows. But I want to go back to three, but the other 2 days will be different art. Okay. For instance, when I actually start doing the pages, I want to have a dedicated art stream for just the comic book pages. I have a bunch of stuff to do for the channel still. I work on thumbnails and things like that. Sometimes I just draw for fun. There's no real project behind it, and I would like to stream some of that. Okay, so it won't be all 3D art because this is still a relatively new skill for me, and I'm still learning it. But I want to get to the point where I can do it like I can do the digital art, just draw without having to learn on the fly. You know, that's my goal. Okay. We want some wrist wrinkles there. We forgot that, unfortunately. But you know, this is just a simple matter of just putting them back, just putting them there. All right, now we can turn this around here, okay? And give me a second. Scrolling my other mouse. All right, and pecan. I'm gonna put some wrinkles right here. All right, behind the knee. Again, you know, this differs from person to person. I just want, you know, we're not doing a likeness, you know, where this is a made up person for the most part. So we can be a little, you know, a little liberal with the details. You know, if you were actually doing like, well, mainly for the face, wrinkles and details and things like that, then you want to be exact as possible, right? I'm just putting things that should be there, really. I mean, we could do without because I'm pretty sure this guy is not in his underwear at all in this story. All right, I have a pretty good idea already of how I want to do the pages, and there are um there are training montages in this particular story. It's a story. It's a contemporary story. Okay, it's science. Basically mostly science fiction, a little bit of fantasy. Okay, it takes place in a modern world. It's this particular scene that these characters are in. The last three that I've done, this is the third. Um, the scene takes place in 1972 during the Vietnam War. It's not about the war. I want to make that clear, you know, in case you're averse to that type of subject. But that is the setting. All right, they're in Cambodia. It's about two college students that come across a black uh, government secret black. It's more of a world government. It's like a secret world government. They have this project. It falls into the hands of these two college age students, and they try to use it to save their terminally ill friend. Okay, that's the premise of the story. But this particular scene takes place in Cambodia. It kind of leads into, you know, it sets up the story moving forward. Okay, I have an entire volume written, and the word count is about probably around 50 Western issues because it's not a manga. I guess manga, what you call them, chapters. I'm not sure the typical length of a manga chapter, so I'm going to say the Western version, which is issues. Okay, according to Alan Moore, who wrote League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Watchmen. You know, he's a very renowned writer from the UK. Um, typical word, I forget the exact typical word count of an issue, but whatever that number was, I have 50 issues worth of words. So that's how long it is. That's how long volume one is. I have other volumes planned, but they're not written. Um, this is a standalone story. If something happens to where I can't go past this, assuming that I can even get this off the ground, I think I can. I'm not. I'm like. There's no doubt. Okay, as long as I'm alive, I should be able to do it. And I work on it actively almost every day. But yes, it is my goal to have it out, and it's 50 issues. And I was saying that if if I couldn't go past volume one, it's a standalone story. Okay, there are some threads that are left for volume two, but they're not super important if I don't ever continue them. Okay, hopefully that won't happen. All right, because I have a I've been drawing since I was very young, like preschool, and I made it basically my own expanded universe. And I was like, you know what? Let's just turn this into a project. Okay, and that's what we're doing now. I started writing this in 2015. It took me 3 years to finish it, and then ever since then, I've just been working on the art for it. Okay, I don't have anything posted yet, but because I during the concept art stage, I noticed that I kept trying to make all of the art better and better, and I don't want that to show in the comic book. It's a natural thing that happens in a lot of web comics. If you draw something long enough, eventually you're going to get better, right? But I want the art to be more consistent than that. So I did a couple of self studies, and I was like, you know what? Okay, so let me just get like perfect reference, because part of the thing is, if there was something I didn't know how to draw, I would just look up a reference on Google, and that's not always reliable. So here we are. We're making our own references in 3D art. So I took the time to learn how to do this, and that's exactly the reason why we don't have the art out yet. But we're making progress. I think I'm at the stage now to where I can actually do the pages. I've done test art. I've done test art on stream. I've done this. Just got to put them together. That's all we got to do. All right. I think this is it. I don't think there's anything else that I forgot. Yeah, Achilles, back of knees, we did all of that, right? So I think we can start baking it. I'm going to save it here. Of course, once we're done with the body, we're going to go to the clothing. And this will be the first time I've actually baked any clothing. So we're not going to bake it just yet. We're going to do, the details first and then bake it. But I have a couple of articles of clothing. Does he have a shirt? Yeah, he does. It's the shirt, the pants. They're not this color. I just made them that color. We're still got to do the textures, and then the equipment. As you can see, that's very U.S. Army or no, these are Army people. Uh, esque attire. They don't. I didn't. I don't. They're not gonna have helmets on. I mean, if I decide to draw them helmet, I could just draw them. It's not a big deal. I mean, I could do that already. With a lot of things. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure that the art was as consistent as possible. Not going to have any problems with perspective like this. I could just draw this if this was the pose, the A pose in perspective. But without the reference, there are going to be some noticeable changes in the art. That's probably not a good thing, but I acknowledge that, and we're going to try to fix it. Okay, we're going to try to make sure that's not a thing. All right, the underwear won't be, that's just for Twitch. Okay, he's got Barbie doll anatomy anyway, at least this one. But I've been practicing full anatomy, off stream. If I can, if as long as there's no wardrobe malfunctions, that's how I'm going to do going forward. That's how I'm going to do it, and we'll just go from there. We don't need foot wrinkles. No, I already did that. Okay, here we go. we're going to need to go over here. We saved it already. There's no asterisk there. All right. It's been a minute since I've done this, so let's folk. Let's get folked. It's the Ultimate Warrior. What's yeah. Every now and then something comes up from wrestling because I've seen enough clips to where it's in my algorithm, and his promos are something else. Let me tell you, something else. All right, let me see. We want to create a new image. Yes, I do believe we do. Why is it? Why do I suddenly hear the music? I'm sorry. I don't. I hope it's not overpowering me. There's music during the if you're listening to this through the VOD or the or on YouTube. There's music playing live. I mean, if that is an incentive to watch it live, go for it. But you're not missing anything. It's mostly just streamer and video game music. A lot of remixes for both. Well, I don't think you could remix a streamer music. I think you just get it as is, right? But that's where we're at. Where is the oh, wait. Okay, let me get out of sculpt mode. I'm scrolling in this void here, all right? I'm trying to see if there's no nodes whatsoever. Oh, I guess we just gotta add them. We gotta add all of them. Well, we know how to do that. It's not a big deal. We know how to do that. Normally, the previous one should have its own node, right? I don't see anything. Again, this is not a problem, but I thought it comes with its own principal BDSM mode, but I guess not. I just wanted to see that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be to sound like I'm distracted. I'm just trying to see if there was something to start from, but I guess I gotta just bring all the nodes in. All right. Okay. We're gonna start there. Um, everything is everything is grayed out. Why is this happening? Do I have to be in sculpt mode? Okay, I do have to be in sculpt mode. Okay, cool. At least that's the uh that's the assumption. Now I need a principal BDSF. It's grayed out. What in the world is this? Let's go back to object mode. Now I'll be the first to tell you that my knowledge in this area is a little bit unreliable because we don't do this often. Why in the world? First of all, there's no nodes whatsoever. It's the first thing that I've noticed. That's not there should be nodes here. Maybe I'm just in the wrong mode. No, I still can't. This is weird. What am I doing? This should not be grayed out. Oh, wait. It might be because I need a new image to start. All right, so we're gonna do an 8K texture. I don't know what that was, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Now that yes, that is definitely all right. 8192, right? And we're going to do um, this is a normal map that we're going to create. All right, we're going to need to do that. And yes, this is a Is this an alpha? Yeah, this is an alpha. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. This is a very easy step to repeat if I mess it up, so it's not a big deal. All right, now can we, what? No. I need, everything is just grayed out. LP, what am I missing here? What in the world? That's fine. That's the shader editor. Wait, let me just X that out. I should be able to troubleshoot this. We would have seen the nodes by now. What in the world? Do I have to be in edit mode? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't remember what I did. Actually, now I'm kind of confused. I don't remember what I did. You're supposed to iron these kinks out, before you start streaming. I hate when this happens. This has happened like 2 or 3 times, like total. When I start the stream and then like, oh, and I forget what happened. I forget what I did. All right, this like I said, this is a very easy thing to troubleshoot. All I have to do is I'm gonna save this right now as is. Exit out. I'm gonna look at my old sculpt and try to figure it out that way. I'm sorry about this. Like I said, normally there's a node there already, and I just work on that, but there isn't. There isn't one, and I don't remember, and I don't have it written down. So something must have. So it must be something that should be there in the first place. Maybe I skipped a step. Maybe there was a step that was skipped before. Okay, this is my old scope. We haven't. I'm not done rigging it, of course. Once I because I'm having some issues with that, but I can figure that out without any help whatsoever. I think I have a pretty good idea of what the deal is there. Let me just hide that meta rig. This is what we're working toward. Okay, he's got. Well, I mean, his pores are a little large because the the uh the retopology is a little more basic. I've gotten better since this one, so these little artifacts aren't going to exist there. But this is what we're working towards. Okay, this and his clothes are a little bit more simple, but that's okay. Let's see, pants, bodies. Yes, this is what we're looking for right here. This is what it should be. Oh, I wonder if I needed this selected. Slot one, skin mat. Okay, object. Yes, view. I think we're just move that out of the way because we don't need that. This is all unrelated, I think. Oh, that could be it. There's no material to work on. All right. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, 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 okay. Go ahead. Just don't save. Oh, you didn't see that. I'm sorry. That was on the screen. I'm sorry. Be all right. You'll be okay. I just had my last scoped up. For some reason, because I stream on different monitors depending on what I'm doing. And sometimes when I'm looking at my monitor, I think you can see it and you can't. Or was it this? This is what we're looking for, okay? We didn't make it. We just didn't make the thing. There was no, and the reason why is because when I learned how to do this, I made some test. I made a test texture, and I didn't do that this time because I didn't need it. I didn't think I needed it. I'll just make the actual texture when the time comes, and that is the reason why this happened. But we're here now, okay? We figured it out. Yep, everything is the way it should be. Good, very good. All right. Yeah, because it shouldn't matter what mode you're in over here, at least to my knowledge anyway. It shouldn't matter. All right. Now that we've worked that issue out, we remember what happened. Add. I need an image texture. So you just go to texture and you hit image texture. It's very straightforward. All right, I'm gonna put it over here. Our texture normal map is going to be right here. As soon as I figure out where it is, let's see texture. And, oh, and I'm gonna have to. You know what? Let me rename this. Because I have these already for my other ones, and I don't want to get them. I don't want to get them mixed up. Wait, no, that's not the right. Sorry. Should be this. There. GHM was actually the last. It's their initials. Okay, don't worry about it. You'll learn their names when the story's done. I don't want to say too much. I want to leave it to if you're interested enough, you'll read it. I yeah. Okay, here we go. Just find what I did here. Why is it not here? Oh wait, no. Let me X this out. There we go. This is what I'm. This is the menu you're looking for right here. And I put the right one, right? Okay, good. There. All right, what we got? We got a normal map. We need a normal map now. And I forget which one that one, what that one's in, but it's okay because we can always just search. I think Shift A is to search. I could have just did that right now. I can still do it right now, but for some reason I just choose not to. And we need this. Now we go color to color, normal to normal. And this is how you can tell it worked. All right. I don't know why that's not always visible, but basically you go to the render and you should have the same texture as this, which is black. It should be completely black. It's still loading. Okay, that's the wrong one. It gotta be rendered. It's gotta be rendered. There. Okay, that's how you know it worked. Okay. Now you solid black when he's rendered because this is the texture that we are. Well, it's a normal map, but we're going to do this again for the actual texture. Why is it? What is this? Oh, yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, so, all right, there we go. There's our. That's how we know it's working right there. Back. Okay, let's see. Mm-hmm. All right, so now we're going to go to multi-res. We still have that up. This is very important to have here. All right, so we want this to be at 0. At 0. And this is where your topology will come in at. If you have a good enough topology, this shouldn't look too bad at 0. All right. This is what we did. And this is why it's important to get it right. You know, see some weird stuff there. I ain't gonna worry about it though. Um, our sculpts are getting better as they go on. So, and I'm working on one right now for animation because I want not only want I want to practice animation, but I kind of want to try to make my own game. I'm gonna do some game dev streams in the future. All right, but I need to figure out the animation first. So in Blender, once that's done, then definitely expect some game streams. But I'm working on a sculpt for that as well, and that sculpt is already an improvement over this one because even though I was working on it at the same time, it's right. It's a couple steps behind this one. I'm still doing the red topology for the clothing, but it's right there. It's literally right there. And of course, since it's still fresh in my head, I'm able to do it faster. It's just this latter half. We got everything up into this part, which is the baking. We got the UVs, all that stuff. I got that committed to memory. It's just this, as we get on, the details get a little shaky because it's such a, it's spread out over such a long period of time that some things I just forgot. All right. Okay, we got 0. Uh, all right, we're on cycles. You got to be on cycles to do this. Okay, cycles. Let's see. Scrolling down here. We need bake. This is what we're here for. Bake. Let me go ahead and just collapse everything else that we don't need. I don't know why this is. I must have been looking for something. When you undo, or sorry, when you drop down these windows, they stay dropped down. So whatever it was I was looking for, and I think I was looking for the remesh button. That's usually why those windows are open in the first place. All right. We don't want to bake from multi-res. That's unchecked, okay? Definitely got to make sure that that's unchecked. And let's see, what did I do? Okay, I guess we just hit the bake button. I'm gonna save it right now, in case I'm wrong. Sometimes when I take notes about what I did, it's shorthand because I remember at the time when I'm doing it, but then when it comes time for me to actually use the notes, I don't want to be in that situation to where I was like, oh yeah, I wrote it this way, but I'm not sure why, and then I have to remember what I did. Bake. Is it done? Oh no, it's still bake. It's at 0%. It's baking. We're gonna have to sit here and wait for a second, but we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it, Peter. You ever see that movie Hook? What was her name? Julia Roberts. She was Tinkerbell. Like you're doing it, Peter. Or no. It was the fat kid when he was starting to see the imaginary food. And it became real. He's like, "You're doing it, Peter. You're playing with us." It was a flop, but it was actually I always liked that movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. It didn't do well at the box office though. For some reason. Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman. That was Hook, right? Yeah, I think so. And yeah, and what's her name? Just said it. Julie Roberts. She's Tinkerbell. Still waiting. It's 18%. Normally it doesn't. Oh, I don't know, because my my sculpts are getting a little bit more detailed, since my test ones. My test ones didn't take very long at all because I didn't do it at the level I'm doing now, but um, it's taking a little longer. That's okay though, because right now, I mean, you can see the faces right now. It's at 127. I guess that's the polygon count. The faces, you go by the faces here from like millions, like 7, 14 million. That's really low. I want to get it as low as possible for like a game, like a practice game. I'm like, who am I kidding, right? I want the practice game to be the final product. So I'm going, that's typically I don't do practice projects, even though I should. Well, I mean, you know what I mean, right? Um, like these sculpts, for example. I've done practice sculpts, but they were functional. Like I was able to rig them. I rigged them. They were fully rigged. I even animated some of them, and by animate I mean I used mocap animation in a game engine, so they were usable. It was just they weren't like something that I would put out there, because they weren't like my best work, but I could have used them if I wanted to. But what I'm saying is like when I learn when I start a project like with this, I mean we're learning. This is a learning thing. There's some things that I'm still trying to grasp, right? But this is also like the final product as well. I'm going to use this in my comic. So when I make that game, it's going to be the final product. Like I might just release it to the public, but I'm gonna make sure that it's worth releasing. So I'm gonna work on it for a while. It's gonna be a long while. I don't know. And, people take years, usually about a decade, to make a game. Independent solo creator. Um, Maybe even longer than that. I don't know. That's usually why you start small. And these are small projects that I'm talking about. But I think I want to try to create something like Ocarina of Time because I always like that type of game, and it's in 3D, 3D space world. It's a bad idea, I know, but I'm going to try to do it because I like challenging myself. I also have an idea for a beat 'em up, and that's going to be like 2D, but maybe some other time. And these are like concepts that I think about a lot. So I mean, we're not just like I have a general idea of how things are going to go in the game. The only thing that I don't have is the story. I just have concepts, gameplay, mechanics, and whatnot, and things like that. We'll see what happens. Once I get to the point where I can create an animation and have a character move around in the space, I'll probably like start streaming the progress then. I want to stream the conceptual stage too, like drawing the like the world or the characters, or even sculpting the characters too. I've never done. I'm gonna need a lot of creatures though, so I'm not really. I mean, I've never done a creature. I never rigged a creature, and but that will be good practice because I do have some creature type characters in this story. Um, I got somebody with like reverse joint legs. I don't know how to rig that currently, but it shouldn't be too bad. All I would have to do is just take the rig and then just reverse the joints. It should work the same. But I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. That's probably, and that character is actually coming up soon. That actually might be the last character that I sculpt, or a part of the next batch of characters that I sculpt for the next scene. Because he's not in this scene, but he's definitely in the next scene. Like when I get to like character 6 or 7, that's kind of like borderline. Like we're starting to change the scene over to the next scene, and the next scene obviously is going to feature all of these characters plus the guy that I'm talking about. Okay, so I would only have to sculpt one more character, maybe two, to do the remaining scene, and then after that, I think because I'm in the prologue. I have prologue, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I think there's a fourth act, and then the epilogue. I actually forget how I divided it, and then the epilogue. Okay, we're in the prologue, so Okay, here we go. It's done. Now, what we're looking at is how he is, right? But if we go over to render, he might not show because he's still black, but yeah, who am I kidding? Oh, yeah, this is another reason why you would have a test scope so you can see your details. You're not gonna be able to see the results. Okay, I have to keep that in mind. We gotta make a test we actually do we can't skip the test. I skipped the test textures, all right, just to get this moving. But this is why you don't do that, all right? We're learning. I can't see the results of the bake without the test scope. That's okay though. We're gonna keep going. I'm not gonna stop now, but I can see them here. It should be fine, all right? But essentially, what you do is you take it down, you bake. You can only bake this at 0. It's not gonna work. And you leave the render at 6. So when you click on the render, you can see the result. All right. I can actually make a test scope right now, or sorry, a test image right now, and it's not really a big deal. If there is something wrong, I can just rebake it, right? But well, there it is. We did the bake. But you can see here, his details are there. I don't see any problems with it, but I can't really tell because he's jet black. Okay. All right. So don't worry about that. Oh, let's see where. Okay. Material properties. I'm going to go ahead and add the subsurface scattering now because I can't see it and it doesn't really like there's nothing else we can do. I can't see if there's any problems. I don't think there are any problems. So even though there were some things I forgot, I know that it's fine. Okay. The only thing that's going to cause problems in this stage is if I didn't do the topology right. And this topology is better than the last sculpts. So, but I'm not going to, you want to be sure before you go on. If there's a problem, I will fix it. Okay, now where's the subsurface scattering? I just saw it. There it is. Okay. Let's see. Okay, wait, is this where we're going? Is this it? This is it, right? Material properties, subsurface. Yeah, scattering. Uh, Let me make sure before I start adjusting things because I can't. I'm not. As you can see, I can't currently tell if I'm doing the right thing because I can't see the results because I didn't do the test scope because I was trying to streamline, this process a little too fast, and this is what happens when you do that. I think it's weight. 0.020. Don't know if that's true, but we can always adjust it later. Right? This strength would be 1.9. Sorry, yeah, 1.9. And this is the part where I would say if you have too much subsurface scattering, the character is going to look waxy. You don't want that. Okay, this gives it a little more, a fleshy look. Okay, the light that hits it is actually absorbed by the skin. Just think if you shine a light on your ear and your ear glows orange, that's basically what we're adding here. But since I skipped the HDRI background, the lighting, and the test sculpt just to get this going, I can't see any of that. All right, but I have it drilled and I have it in my notes to the point where I can just follow the same workflow without actually seeing it. It should be fine. Again, if it's not, I can just rebake it off stream. It won't take me long at all. Okay, no, yes, and then we got to save this image. See, you have to save this image here. Image, it's got the little asterisk. We are going to save it, and you want to save it as if you're using if you're doing a video game. Apparently, Targa is the standard. I don't know. I mean, I don't know from experience, but since I used a game ready character to learn 3D art, game ready character tutorial to learn 3D art, um, just to kill two birds with one stone for a reference and to actually make a game ready character for a game. That is the standard. That's what we're saving it as. And there it is. I could have sworn that the texture showed in this mode too. Maybe I'm wrong. Increasing preferences. What? Okay, it's doing something. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's probably because I went here. But no. There aren't any textures, so you're not going to see the textures. But this is where you would see the texture without all the rendering. Right now, you just see like I don't know. It's like it's like the T1000 a little bit. All right. Oh, and you know what? This is how you make sure that you can go back. All right. We got to save this as a separate project. All right. And this is where I would go EGM1. Save it. Okay. Now we have EGM1. Oh, you know what? And let me go ahead and put let me see, save as, and then EGM. This is where it branches off. All right. Open. These are my test sculpts. Everything that says untitled test stream, that was the very first one. That became JRM1. JRM and JRM1, okay? This is right before the baking. I did this one off stream though. And then again here with GHM, that was the last sculpt. GHM, GHM1. So now we got EGM and EGM1, which is what we're currently working on. I'm going to back up EGM1 again, because if there's a problem with the baking, now I can go back and rebake it. And the reason why we do that is because I'm going to take this and I think we can just, do I have to X this out or apply it? I think it's apply. I'm going to apply it, okay? Again, if that's wrong, I will fix it. And it won't take much to, go back and just be like, all right, and just do it again. Also, these high poly, the high poly body, I can't freaking see if it's actually rendered, but I can see it on the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of those. That's just bloating our file. See, we need all LP. LP is the high poly now. And this is how I fix it. This is the reason why you would make two copies, because I can't fix it without the high poly. If I lose the high poly, say like if this was the only file that I had, right? This is the only file that I had, and I got rid of all the high poly stuff, and then oh no, I made a mistake and I can't revert, right? This is how you fix it, because I actually did this mistake already. I would have to re-retopologize his entire body again, then do the details again, and I have something to work on, so it would take faster. But it's like another week and a half of work. Okay, not good. You don't want to do that. Collision? Yeah, sure. Why not? Oh no, that was on my boots. Why is collision on boots? All right, whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, I know why. Because I copy pasted them from a finished project. That's why. All right. LBE that can go. I don't know why it's still. Wait, no, 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 not yet. Just the body. Did I delete anything else? I think it was just the body. eh, we still need the high poly for the clothes because we're not done yet. All right. The body should be done. I can't tell. I can't even begin to see what I did until I have a texture. I'm going to edit my notes from this point forward to make the test texture, okay? Make it so that way this doesn't happen because I you kind of need it to trouble, if there's any problems, you can see if there's a problem or not. All right, so all right, the body should be good, I guess. Like I said, we're not gonna know until I put the texture on, but I mean, he's not gonna look like this. All right, when you hit render, you should have all the details, but with a much lower count. Okay, if that's not the case, then I got to go back and just remake it. That's no big deal. And I'll probably copy and paste over the texture too. That way I can see it. The texture is going to come up next after the close, of course. Um, Now it's just and we don't have to even have to do the boots because the boots are done. I copy pasted them from a previous sculpt. Even though there's no light hitting them right now, and of course this is like a recovery from a messed up texture. It's they're not as good as I wanted them to be. These are like the first boots that I made for this project, and I just kept copying and pasting them. But I made some mistakes. Okay, when I did the retopology, I kind of retopologized over the all the nice textures that I made, and it kind of lost some of that. But um, for the most part, I can use them and reference them, and they look like boots. They're a little big, but we can adjust that on the page. I'm not really worried about that. All right, so we got. I'm gonna do the pants next. I'm not gonna need the checker pattern. Basically, we just do everything we just did, but for the clothing. But I'm gonna have to take the underwear off. That's not really a part of the final product, so they're currently in the way. I have, you know what? I think they might have in front on. No, they don't. Okay, never mind. Now he has the pants. We don't need the underwear. Just so we're not in the dark here, we're gonna go back to this. So they're very garish looking green army pants. Okay, you don't want that. You don't want that either. We are going to make sure that that's they look more realistic, much like the ones that from the last but better. Now I got to restart because not restart, but we got to do everything that I just did for the body over again, but for the pants. Okay, we already unwrapped them. As you can see here, the pants are oops, the pants are somewhere on here, aren't they? Oh, you know what? Yeah, there are the pants right over there. Okay. Just want to make sure. Like I said, he is Barbie doll anatomy. We ain't gonna be able to do that in the future sculpts. At least, to a point. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna just draw a full on private part, but definitely more of an outline. All right, just for anatomy practice, because that's really the only thing left that I have is just general refinement and just sticking to anatomy more and more. But those really won't be needed for my project, so I'm kind of up in the air about it. It would probably be more apparent on a woman because the breasts and you can't really. I mean, it like if you even like with without the genitals, that's like their form. Okay, that's there's nothing poking out. Uh, for the most part. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, generals are different for everybody, but where to begin? You know, since I'm on my latest sculpt, I have so much more detail in my clothes now that when I'm looking at this, I was questioning why I didn't add certain things. Like there's no belt, there's no seams, nothing. So that would make this a little easy. I I the improvement between each project, when I go back to something that I haven't seen in a while, I'm wondering like, wow, I this is how I was doing it. It's kind of weird seeing this now since I've been adding so much detail. And this is what I was talking about. See, we got a basic general thing of the boot, general shape and some detail, like some of the seams where you put the boot together and the laces. They actually look better than this, and they do look better than this. When I click this, you just can't, since there's no light in the rendered scene, you can't really see it. And you know what? Maybe the HDRI, if I add the HDRI scene in, maybe we could see the details still because there's no light. I could add in some light. I'll probably do that off stream. I'm not. That's really not super important. I have enough confidence to say that I think I did it right, and if I didn't, it's an easy fix. It's not a big deal. I keep saying that's like the third or fourth time I said that, so let me stop because I actually don't like saying the same things over and over again. It's really, I don't like being repetitive, even though I do repetitive stuff all the time. I don't like it. Now, let's see. Sculpt. We're on sculpt, right? All right. We already unwrapped it. Okay. All right. Select mesh. We got to add the multi-resolution here. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, some of the details came back. I did add the buttons. All right. And I can see the folds. Now, okay, yeah, that was the issue. The issue was the level of subdivision. Because they do have the all the details from the high poly pants, which are just right up here. We can probably see right now. Why can't I? Okay, yeah, there we go. These are the actual details right here. Okay, that's much better. I don't know why. And it's funny. I should know this. Okay, there's the belt. Okay, yeah. See, we did some. Okay, all right, all right. I forgot what I did. All right, forgive me. Back pockets. They're just a little. They look like they're made of silk. That's the only problem. These are supposed to be like a cotton type mesh. Okay, that's much better. Oops. We cannot be doing that. And then the shrink wrap, right? Wait, no. Click it. Okay, there we go. Multi-res. We don't have the shrink wrap on. They don't have the details on them yet. I'm judging my own work, and I just I didn't realize that I actually did put how they look now is how what I'm used to from all the test sculpts that I did. That's why I said that, and I wasn't sure what I did. I just forgot. Okay, sorry, I just forgot. Sometimes that happens. All right, deform is where shrink wrap is, by the way. Go to deform because I've done this enough times that I know this by heart now, so it's not a big deal. All right, and then you want the target to be. Oops, no, the pants. That was what we call a mistake. You say pants. There's the details. See, now we have all the details. Let me see. Hold on a second. I want to see something. Pants. Wait, why? These are the LPs? These can't be the LPs. It's saying that these are 14 million polygons, but these aren't. That's not right. Oh, it's because I subdivided them. Duh. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'm sorry. I was awakened this morning by a phone call. All right, and I didn't go back to sleep after that. So I don't know if that's affecting me right now, but I feel okay. So we're gonna keep going. Oh, what do we have here? This is another reason why I don't want to use the garment tool anymore. Look what it has done. It's got like it's almost like that's the the woodland camo, but they didn't have that back then. It's olive drab. Okay, so we're gonna have to do some fixing here. Uh, yeah, we hand do the clothes now. We don't this I did this with the garment tool. No more. Okay. Now I'm seeing the effects of some of the because they updated it and they added some features, and I'm seeing the results of that right now. We got to do some fixing. Some of this. Oh my goodness, what is this? Was that there before? Hang on, man. This is gonna be more fixing than actually doing. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's on the. No, the pants are fine. What happened? Huh. All right. I don't know why that's happening, but we got to put something out here. Otherwise, I'm going to have to fix all of that, and that's going to take longer than I want it to. Deform, shrink wrap. Doing this again, just in case me selecting shirt kind of messed it up. I doubt it though. Something tells me that yeah, something tells me that we going to have to deal with this in some way. Okay, so my best guess is that I'm just gonna have to smooth all those weird artifacts out, kind of work on the belt, and this has to be completely fixed. I'm if I can't fix it, I'm just gonna better luck next time, I guess. I'm not gonna redo these pants. This is already taking this too long, but I can fix this. Uh, okay, we're gonna sculpt the secondary details, I guess. Uh, all right, sculpt them ding dang details. Where are they? What happened? Oh wait, hold on. Wait, what happened? Can't even see anything. I kind of need to see where those details are so I can sculpt them, so I can like refine them and whatnot. Oh, I can't see anything. What is this? Okay. Okay, now we're in object mode and I still don't see anything. Oh, okay. Okay, so that has to be on the top. Gotcha. Well, we already tested that. Nearest surface point. And I think it's because the garment tool has like a double layer to it. I don't know if that's something that I accidentally did or what, but yeah, maybe I should not click that. There's like no way I'm not gonna be able to guess where everything is like this. Oh, this is a step here. Hold on, wait. Let me consult my notes real quick. I'm sorry. I have so many problems. It's just this back end. This the back the like the very last things. Basically, this point forward is where my details are a little shaky. I can do everything. I should be able to do everything else by from my head. Since I haven't done this in a bit, this is the part that I kind of want to commit to memory. Okay, the checker material. We don't need this. All right, you have to apply it. You have to apply the shrink wrap. Okay, that might be the reason why we can't see anything. Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, big problem now. Why is it still there? Didn't I just say? Yeah, we want to delete that. We don't want that there. I applied the shrink wrap, so there should be the details should be there. For some reason they're not. All these problems. And normally there's no problems. I'll just do it and then we just keep going. But for some reason, I don't know. It might, this is what happens when you start streamlining stuff and you don't really have a full grasp of it. So let's see, pants. Okay, everything is back. Now apply. There, okay. So what the heck happened before? I did that and it didn't work. All right, there. Now we can see what we're doing and fix it because we got to fix it. Look at it. All right. Now it's making a belt buckle. The details are. Oh, this is going to take some time to fix, but I can fix it. Sculpt mode, please. All right. So what I need now. Oh man, that's like they just ruined all the edges. It ruined all. They who was they anyway? All the edges. I just have the basic shape, which I guess is better than nothing, right? So, all right, stop talking about it. Let's be about it. I need the clay strips. We gotta go in. We gotta operate. The doctor has to operate. Not a doctor. I'm sorry. I'm not even an expert at this, but I do have a grasp of it, and I've done this enough times to where we can fix it. So it's never been this bad, and I blame Garment Tool, and I'm not using it anymore. Even though I like Garment Tool, I actually like Garment Tool. It's a very good tool to have to make some fast clothes, but for this particular workflow, it seems to be more of a hindrance to me than my own skill level or my own shortcomings, whatever you want to call it. Whatever it is that I am doing that causes myself problems, the garment tool is compounding those problems because I on my practice scope for animation, I did manual clothes. Like I sculpted them from scratch, which is what I should have been doing in the first place, honestly. and um, it gave me no problems. I retopologize them. I don't have to worry about the simulation falling off the because it takes so much time just looking sitting there waiting for the thing to load. But when you can just sculpt them, I finally took the training wheels off. And I need a little bit more, or do I? I don't know. Let me try smoothing this out. See, this is not the shape that the belt buckle should be in, but we can work out of this. We can just work it out. I'm trying to make it like a rectangle. It should be a flat surface with edges. So I should probably just start with the edges. Let me just flatten out all of the imperfections here. What's going on there, man? Nice and smooth. I honestly, just as long as it's not the way it is now, that's what we're trying to stop here. We're on track though, so everything's fine. There's little hiccups here and there, but I think I got it from here on out. After this sculpt, not only will I go faster because I'm not trying to record everything, just to document my process, because it kind of turned into that a little bit, just so if hey, yeah, this is how I did it. These are the references I used, and this is how I did it. It's documented from start to at least this one is documented from start to finish, or at least it will be. And after that, no more. When I stream it, I'll ideally I want to be in a completely different step every time I stream it. Like that's the speed that I want to go. Right? I can do this way faster than this. This is probably the longest I've taken on this, and that's probably because of everything that I've added since learning how to do this. And so and as a result of that, I tried to take some stuff away, and that you saw that there's some that's not very helpful right now. Okay, I need to see the normal map, so I have to make a test sculpt, or sorry, not a test sculpt, a test texture in order to see that. That's how I learned how to do it. But when I was thinking to myself, how do I make this faster? Oh yeah, let me just not do any test textures at all. That's good, right? But then I forgot why I was doing the text textures in the first place. And why in the world are we going down? I want to go up. Don't indent. We have to take this and redefine it. See what I'm looking at here. All right, so we got a little dent here. I don't want to just do this. Well, I guess I could do that. But what I was thinking about doing instead is, hold on, we don't need this right now. We're back on sculpting. We have to fix all of this. We have to fix it. I have to fix it. I'm gonna take the grab tool instead and pull this out here. I think I see anything here. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, just pull this down. Instead of trying to cover it, I could just pull it down. Now, I think the only thing that I have to redefine, I'm just taking a look around here, besides this left knee. And you know what? Maybe I don't even have to do that. No, it's too much now. It's too much. If it was just a simple retopology, I would cut the pants in half and then duplicate them. But I can't do that anymore. If I do that now, there's like so many polygons now because we subdivided it all the way up to 14 million again. There's so many polygons now that if I miss one, it's going to be like floating artifacts, and it's going to be very easy for me to miss one. And then on top of that, wait, is this double layered? I don't think it is, but maybe it is. Well, let me get rid of the body. No, no, no. Yeah, we fixed that. There's no double layer, but the double layer on the original sculpt might be the reason why this happened. I'm not really sure, but I've already solved the problem just by not using garment tool anymore. Every time I use it, it does something different, and it could be just the way it generates cloth around that specific model. I guess I'm not really sure, but it's so much simpler not using it, so I'm not going to use it. Ugh. I don't know why. Like when I the brush behaves differently sometimes. I don't know why. If I just draw on it, like going in the sculpt should be when I hold control down. I'm currently not holding control down when I do this. I don't know why it flip flops on me. Clay strips. Yeah, it should add not it should add, not subtract. I don't know if I selected something. Looking around here, we need that actually. All right, it's not a big deal. I'll just hold control. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm flipping the functions every time for some reason. It's different for every brush too. I don't know what happened. It must have been, when I'm sorry, I tend to lean back because my chair, since I lean back on my chair so much, I have it tightened to a point where it doesn't stay up all the time. So I have to physically sit up, which is actually a good thing because, posture, but I start scooching back, when I get more relaxed. I'm super relaxed right now. Like if I wasn't streaming, I would be like this. No, I wouldn't be like that, but I'd be more relaxed doing it. So I have this pillow behind me, so that doesn't happen. Better. It scooched down. I don't know. I don't know. I might have scooched it down and without even knowing. Okay. Let's go down here. Just gonna go ahead and just straighten this. I don't know why this happened, but we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it. I'm going to try to redefine this belt buckle, make it look better. I it's another reason why I'm not going to use garment tool anymore because, and you know what? I think the problem might be with the way I did the red topology. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that I probably didn't define the belt buckle well enough, and that kind of contributed to this problem. It's something I don't do anymore. Like the sculpt that I'm working on offline, I've already solved these problems, and to try to retroactively add them now would make this take even longer. We're at the end. I just want to get it done. I can use this as a reference, regardless of the mistakes that I've made. Okay, I can work with this. This is actually enough for me to work with. We're just trying to do this better. Try to make this all even. We don't want to add too much here. Turn it to the side. The belt buckles kind of stick out, so we have a little bit of leeway with that. Just need something there. It's a little warped. These smaller details I have been practicing, um, to the point where this almost seems like a very old scope, but it's actually the one we've been working on since I got off with my hiatus. And it would have been done by now, but things happen. Okay, life happens. Also, some of it is on me too, because like I said, I'm working on another sculpt offline, just to kind of just so I can try to work on animation a little bit, like practicing animation in Blender. And if I had been working on this sculpt, it would have been done by now. I would have been on the sculpt that I'm working on could have been the next character for this story, but it's okay. I'm willing to take on the extra work. Doing these things over and over, drilling them over and over is actually helping me get better at them. So I don't necessarily mind. I can wait a little longer before I start working on the comic, because the better the reference, the better the result in the end. I'm not in a rush to release it. I don't want to rush it. I don't want to, I don't want this to be like something that I drew as a kid where I just didn't really put, I didn't really put like super, like I didn't really plan anything out when I did comics as a kid. I just drew them as I went along. I don't want to do that for this, okay? I want to have a clear start, clear finish, a clear workflow, and we're good. We're doing that. It just takes longer, We're doing it. It's probably not. It's not super efficient now, but it will be. I think when once I have all of the references ready, I can just do the pages without having to worry about making a mistake in perspective or whatnot. It'll just be up to my skill, which of course isn't perfect. I'm sure there will be some mistakes here or there, but I think for the most part, the art will be consistent, which is what I want. And I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get to the end, but I'm sure that the art will change somewhat by the time we're at issue 50. Which is fine. The art changing as a result of time is fine. I'm not worried about that. I'm just trying to stop myself from improving it every time I draw, just improving the art. That's kind of what I'm doing here, I guess. Now that I think about it, oh, that's not what I want. Let me just go ahead and just back those up. Um, I messed up there. I'm just trying to smooth this out so that way it looks more like a belt buckle. I may have to. I might actually work on some of these details in between today and tomorrow, just so I'm not spending more time on this than I need to. You get the gist of it. I got to redefine all the details. I was going to do that anyway, but it just seems to be more to refine because of these extra artifacts that happened. I don't know, man. Everything, this seems like something always happens that makes things take longer. I don't know why. Which is, I'm just going to chalk it up to just not being where I need to be yet. We're working on it. I'm trying to get this done so I can move on to the next sculpt. The next character I actually had a lot of fun writing. He has a lot of action scenes. He's not the main character. He's a pretty important character. It was very fun writing him. He's the one who he has a lot to do in the story, and I look forward to to designing the references for him. Oh, what happened here? Just move that back. I'm just going to stretch it out. I'm just trying to get the basic shape, and then I'm going to redefine the edges and then flatten the sides. And, that should get us to a functional belt buckle. I made a little puffy here on purpose because, it's looped through. I don't know where it ended, though. I don't know where I put that. But that's not something that I'm really concerned about. I can always, like, if I were to draw the page right now, oh yeah, he needs the belt loop. The belt has to look loop. I could just like draw a half circle right there or something like that. I guess yeah. I guess you could loop it this way. Yeah, that's not something that I need a reference for. All right, let's see. No, we want to redefine the edges before I do that. Let me just go back to grab. Gotta grab. Gotta grab it. Don't have to grab it. All right, let me just move this. Still have a little issue there. I think I can use the flatten tool to just flatten that. Oh, why did I lower the? I did that last time. I literally did the same thing again. I guess I'm insane. Just casually say you're insane. Anyways, yeah, I did the same thing. I was just expecting something different. No, it actually, it's not what I'm trying to do here. Right. I'm gonna grab or take the clay strips and add some more by holding control. Add some more volume there, some mass. Trying to fix these mistakes here. It's easier to just to do it right the first time. And I think I did, right? Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, I can't see anymore because yeah, I can. What am I talking about? We're not talking about the body here. I don't need the boots. I'm talking about the pants. And we get rid of pants LP. This is essentially what I did. I don't know why it messed it up so much. Everything is here. They look good enough like this. It's a little simple, but for some reason the shrink wrap really destroyed it, and I'm not sure why. But that's okay. As I do more and more of these, I'm gonna find out exactly what causes why everything is so different every time I do it. I'm sure the reason is me, but we're gonna figure it out. Something that I'm doing. I'm not even gonna blame Garment Tool at this point because I'm doing the clothes manually already. But it's definitely something that I'm doing. I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out together. And I will report back my findings to you. If anybody out there is also doing 3D art and they have that problem, at least you'll know how to fix it, or at least how I fixed it. Maybe it'll be different for you. Maybe you do it completely differently from me. Maybe probably a better way, you know. But we'll get there. We will get there. I've never really outside of learning how to do this from tutorials. I don't know how other people do things like this. When I do watch people do, I have a couple. Matter of fact, some of the suggested streamers um, are 3D artists as well. I think I think they seem to do it differently. So, and I know how to do it in ZBrush. I know there's one person who is a ZBrush artist. I actually started in ZBrush. I just don't have a license, so I switched to Blender, which is free. And they don't even give licenses anymore. It's all subscription based, which I was not really willing to pay it. So that's why I went to Blender. But ZBrush was so easy. I kind of miss it, to be honest. That's all right though. We've come a long way in Blender. I was only doing hair in Blender at first, but now because I didn't have to remesh anything, Z remesh took care of all this. Little minor differences in the face. You know, they were little that like, I lost some details in the face, but it was for the most part good. And to the point where I didn't even realize that my character's eyelids were melted. Like it was very subtle. I was like, "What is different?" I couldn't tell it. I couldn't immediately tell at first, but that's when I realized, oh, okay, those finer details are being lost. In fact, so I'm gonna try to smooth this out. Come on now. Oh, well, I haven't redefined the edge yet, so I'm not gonna worry about that too much. Only problem is this is more of like a slant. I want this to be like flattered. So let's see, how do we do that? I think defining the edge and then pulling the edge out further might do the trick. It could be a better way, but that's like the one way that my brain immediately went to was just to try it that way. Just as long as we have a belt at the end, it shouldn't really matter how we get there. See, look, now I'm not holding anything and it's going the other way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click stabilize stroke under the tool settings. We can get a straighter line without really having to try. We still got to take our time. We can't just run it across there. Just drive it all the way over because you can still mess it up. So the object was to get a straighter line, but the line itself is not straight. So we're going to have to just redo it, basically. Then maybe smooth out the old line. Hey, Trig, welcome to the stream. How's your morning going? How was your 4th of July? Happy 4th if you, maybe if you don't celebrate it. Happy 4th anyway. I mean, I don't really celebrate it either. If you don't. I just chilled out. I played some Doom. Because I know it was hot. That's all I know. I was out there for a bit. Junk food, playing games. I got you. Um, I'm just here trying to get better at this. Some slight issues, but we're all right. For the most part, I'm good. What in the world is happening here? I don't celebrate like fireworks in general, but after you've seen 100, you only need to see 101. Yeah, some people just like making things go boom. It's okay. I don't really care. I like fireworks as a kid, but I don't really care for them very much anymore. I've had enough fireworks for a lifetime. And didn't even do a cookout, really. I cooked a cheeseburger for myself. That was it. Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure those are illegal. Those types of fireworks. I don't know. When people like mention Chinese or Japanese fireworks, they're usually the illegal types. So I'm going to assume that they're illegal. They're not your typical Roman candles or sparklers or even no M80s are illegal, aren't they? I don't know. I don't remember. It's I'm not plugged into that anymore. The legal ones, okay, gotcha. Yeah, some people had the ones that shoot up around here and fire, and I guess they did it across the river. Maybe I don't actually don't know for sure. I that was on what? That was on Friday, right? So what was I doing on Friday? I wasn't in the morning. I was playing Shadowheart. I streamed Shadowhearts in the morning, but then after that, I actually, you know what? Yeah, I think I was playing Dune. I had my headphones on, so if they were, I heard some of the fireworks, but not all of them. I don't know if they did it across the river. Is what I was saying. I'm sure they did though, because I know some people were planning on watching the fireworks from the balcony. So I'm going to assume that happened that way. I know there were some events, some local events. Most of the time, I can hear the fireworks when they shoot them at City Island from Mulan. I've never seen Mulan. I'm sorry. I've seen very few of the Disney cartoons. Mostly the classic ones, I guess. And the Don Bluth animations that I get confused with Disney movies. They're actually not Disney movies. They're the Don Bluth production ones, like Oliver and Company, things like that. I always when I first think of them, my first thought is yeah, Disney, but they're actually not Disney. Do you know the song I'll make a man out of you from Mulan? Yes, yes. I know. I actually knew. What's funny? I actually knew some of the lyrics in that song, the Chinese version. I forgot though, because I thought it was. I don't know. I thought it was funny. So when I was playing back when I played League, one of the first characters that I picked was Xin Xiao, and I would sing that. I was singing that song in Chinese, and the Jackie Chan "Who Am I?" when I would play when I play that game, it was those two songs. I actually took the time to learn how to sing them in Chinese, but I forgot. Sorry. I knew the song before I saw the movie since it was on the group. Yeah, I know. The Dark Side of the Moon. Uh, I was able to sing that line in Chinese. I just or Cantonese. I just don't remember the lyrics. I remember Koyi. Koyi was the last syllable, the last two syllables. But yeah, just being funny, just general league league BS, League of Legends BS. When we were all on chat, I would just sing that. Yeah, yeah. There was a movie called Who Am I, and he did the theme for that, and it's in Cantonese. And I always thought it was funny because they have this one part of the song where there's just a bunch of people going, "Oh yeah, oh yeah," and I was singing that while I'm poking people with his little spear. Jarvan, yeah, I never did. I play Jarvan? Maybe I did. I think I would have tried him, but definitely Xin Zhao. That was one of the. It was Cassidy and then Xin Zhao was like the second person that I tried. So yeah, that was way back. That was like in 2011. That was when I first started playing it. All right, let me see here. Trying to pull this back. It's a little thick down here. I'm just trying to reshape this to make it look more like a belt buckle. Just solving a problem. Just solving a problem. It probably won't. I probably won't try to like get it super perfect. Just well, at least good enough for me to reference. See, look at a distance here, it still looks like a proper belt for the most part. It's still a little wobbly, but like I said, I'm not. My skill level in drawing is enough to use this as a reference and make it look right. He has that halberd. Yeah, it was the one with the flag on the end. I remember. I just don't remember his move set. I know he had gold on or something like that. Sorry, I was adjusting. But I don't remember what he did. When I think of Jarvan, for some reason Leona pops to mind. I know I played with her. I don't know why, and it could be because of they have the same like color palette. I guess like gold and red and things like that. It's probably the reason. But I honestly don't remember what he did. None of us really played with him. Maybe you did, but when I played with you, you were playing Rise. So I mean, if you did play with him, I didn't see it. You were always on Rise. You and Keith were always you both played Rise back when Keith played with us. I don't know what happened. I haven't heard from Keith in a long time, but I never played with Rise either. I tended to gravitate toward the same. Well, every now and now I try somebody new, and usually I would stick with that person until the next new hotness. Pulse off the body that gave a shield. His Q is a straight poke forward, and I think it goes through armor defense. Yeah, none of that rings a bell. I'm not even sure if I even played with Jarvan the Fourth anymore. To be honest, maybe Doomed Walker did, but usually he was Cho'Gath or Kog'Maw or Alistair maybe. I tended to play if I wasn't playing support, then I would play AD or AP or tank. I guess that's almost every position. I've never played the jungler. I've never jungled. I still don't know how to jungle because I never did it. We had people for that. If it wasn't typo or you jungled, I think, or you know, there was always a jungler. I never really, it seemed like to me, it seemed like a hassle. So I wasn't really in a hurry to learn, but because it's a very involved position to play, and you got to be moving around, and I don't know. I just never did it. We had people that did it well enough to where I was like, I don't want to jungle. They can handle that. I am not a jungler. I never knew how to jungle. I figured out how to tank. Tanking was new to me. That concept of tanking, but that was easy to grasp. Just go in, don't come out, don't run away, go in, make them hit you. Let the team kill them. I never really approached it that way. You know, when I tanked in other games like Final Fantasy 11, I'm also attacking the monsters. So that's not always the case with tanks. You know, I did play Singed and AP Singed, of course. So my goal was just to go in and just flip people over me and then let my team kill them, or let people chase me and then I just smoke them out. Go in, don't die yet. Yeah, basically. Okay, let's see. He drops the halberd from the sky into the ground, which gave attack speed to allies. I kind of remember that. Short jump, and then when he landed, it left a raised ring of ground that trapped people. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Okay, now that rings a bell. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Trapped in the pit with Jarvis. Jarvin. Jarvis? Jarvin? Jarvin. Passive did additional damage per first hit on enemies or something. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely remember seeing that ultimate. Take him to the gravel pit. I think I said something like that when I saw it. So maybe somebody played it and then I would just say that. Gotta take him to the gravel pit. Or maybe I said it. I don't know. I don't remember playing with Jarvin though. I'm sorry. Like every character I have played, I would think of like some kind of one liner or catchphrase. I was just thinking of Gangplank because when they had the crit runes, and you could just kill people, just you just shoot them in the face and they're dead. I just shot that little girl in the face. I would type this in the chat just to anger the enemy team. I remember one time, you know, well actually this happened more than once, but if I was killing the enemy team, it was either on Sona or Gangplank. I would talk so much trash that they would just try to chump me. Like they were all just like just they wanted me dead. They just wanted to kill me once. And then I would just kill them again and they would surrender right after that. But you know, I must say, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I was a league pro because I wasn't. I was only able to do the things that I was able to do because my team allowed me to. I did a lot of stuff that was not meta at all, and that was the reason why it worked because people weren't expecting it. Like I did AP Sona when you're supposed to play support, but I would just stack the crap out of AP, like buy a runic bulwark, all these defensive items, and then I would just go out and when if I hit Q, usually if you were squishy, you're dead. If you're not dead, and I wanted you dead that much, then I would just ulti you. Or I would wait until the whole team is there, ulti the team. If somebody didn't die, they were going to die. And if the team was there, then you know everyone would die because you know everybody would be so low health. But I could probably queue at least one person after doing an ulti and they would die too. So and then with the runic bulwark before they took it out, Sona was so tanky that she could not be killed, and she was a support. That's probably the reason why they took it out though. But it was really fun playing that, you know. And people told me that I was too aggressive with Sona, but that was the point. You know, people weren't expecting that. And I had this thing that I used to say. Well, I didn't say it. I would say if somebody would say Prona, like the enemy team did this a lot. Okay, it would be like Prona, and they would like you know either they would surrender or they would say it in the after chat. And then I made it a thing to where I was like, okay, I can't call myself a Prona. The enemy team has to do it. And then when they did it, I would say Prona Bone. I would just say Prona bonus over and over. It probably pissed off my allies too because they were the reason why I was able to do that. Sorry guys. All right, I was just joking around. You know, I never said I was good. You know, sometimes it wasn't all about the enemy team. Sometimes you know one of my teammates die, I would make fun of them too. I promise I'm not a jerk. Okay, I was just playing around. Um, let's see here. Cataclysm was R, but yeah, Cataclysm. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So either somebody did play with him or I played with him. Jay Trey, I stole them from my friend at the time. Since he's the fourth, he would say, "For my father, the king." She said Jay Trey one day, and then I never stopped saying it since then. Wow. Yeah, I mean, they tried them at least once, at least a handful of times, I would say. I just don't really remember if it was me or not. I can't tell. But yeah, it was all about the promo bonus. Okay, I lived for it, and I wouldn't call myself it. I would try my best to kill the enemy team so they would say it, so I can have the bonus. They're pretty good KDs though, but like I said, wasn't it was only because my team allowed it. Okay, I didn't place any wards for the most part, and then later on, I started like as I got better and better with Sona, I started actually doing my job. But otherwise, I would just take Q and go in lane at the start of the round, and if I killed you with Q, then my head was just gonna swell from there and just on and on. If I got the and a lot of time nine times out of 10 I would have to do that over the AD. Like I would have to Q the A like Q when the AD should be killing. I would get the kill, and then that's not really how you play Sona or any support, to be honest. But I just kept doing it because I was chasing it high. I wanted the prono bonus. I just wanted them to say it. Yeah. My friends from in the groove got me in the league after they were on the way out. Oh, you was never a Rise user? Okay, my bad. Yeah, I was thinking of Keith then. I played a few games with Tony, Terrence, Quentin intermittently. I only played with Quentin with Tony because Tony was the linchpin of the group as always. Played Lux for yeah, that's right, Lux. That's right. I used to main Lux. That was one of the earlier ones. I enjoyed playing with Lux, but for some reason, I don't know, somebody came out and I just stopped playing with her. Um, if I had to guess, Lux was before Akali. I tried Akali one day and I was getting like I was doing pretty well with her, but then after a while, I was playing teams that was shutting me down as Akali, and I stopped playing with Akali. Same thing happened with Kennen too. I played AP Kennen, and it was a couple of games where I did really well, and then after a while it wasn't working anymore, so I stopped playing Kennen. I would say they were probably like failed mains, Kennen and Akali. It was, and in Akali's case, it was probably me. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't. Maybe I wasn't playing her right all along, or or maybe I was being carried, but I was getting decent kills and whatnot. I don't know. My first champ ever was Galio, and then I wasn't able to pick him anymore, so I picked another champ, Lux. Then I couldn't pick her anymore. Yeah, sometimes that happens. My first champ was Cassidon. It was almost misfortune, but I chose Cassidon instead. If it had been misfortune, things probably would have been very different because misfortune seemed like she's a good champion, but I never actually picked her. Even after I picked Gameplank, I was like, Gameplank was the pirate guy for me. I just kept picking him instead because it was funny just hitting Q and then somebody would die, and nobody could do anything about it. And then and it only just gets better. You get it. You start off with the attack speed, whatever attack speed is you can buy in the beginning of the game. I forget what the item is called now, but or crit. I think it's both attack speed and crit. I don't know. I don't remember. Um, but just build that way. Plus all the crit runes, and you just hit Q. And sometimes I would just kill people outright. And if I got a kill in the first of the game, it was pretty much over because I was just going to snowball from there. Like crit plank is honestly, in hindsight, he probably should have been nerfed. It was too easy. If I can just go in there and just press Q and you can kill somebody and then keep doing it, it ain't right. It ain't right. Especially if I do it. If you let me win, you're going to hear about it. I'm going to type it in the chat. I'm going to type in something that you're not going to want to hear. All right. Because that went straight to my head. All right. That's how we do. That's how we do it. A little too competitive, probably. I don't really do that stuff that much anymore, but I'm not ashamed to admit, yes, I did that. I did it. It was funny. I thought it was funny. I would think of funny things to say, and it contributed to the overall enjoyment of that game. I didn't like playing that game by myself though. But that's how I learned how to play a Mumu. I went into solo queue with a Mumu, and I learned how to play with him. I was like, wow, Mumu's actually pretty good. But I have to play. You have to adhere to people's expectations when you're solo queue. You can't just do whatever you want. Like when I was playing with my friends, I don't have to follow the meta. But if you're playing solo queue, I can't do any. I can't. I have to play Sona as an actual support. I was still getting the kills though. It was just people would complain if I killed over the AD. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna kill anything now. And then I placed my wards. I hit the Q. The enemy AD was like one bar away from dying. I didn't do anything, and the AD couldn't kill him. And then he bitched to me about it. I was like, you told me not to kill him. You're the AD. So I'm not gonna kill him. And I was like, I didn't want to deal with that every game. Okay, I have a very a very uh low tolerance playing with randoms, especially toxic randoms. Okay, I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna play something else, or play by myself, play a single player game. Too many rules with League. Too many. It's a community I don't really want to be a part of. But it was very fun when we had a group to play with. Let's see. Intuitively realized the free champ rotation. Yeah, I was doing it. I think Cassidy was free the week that I started playing League. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't really like Cassidy, in hindsight, but that was the champ that I learned at first. Gameplay is very funny. The Q blast, yeah. And then you kill him, and you're like, dang, I got his shivers timbered. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and you say that you do that enough times, they will come for you. The entire team will come for you. Like I remember what I said with Pantheon. I was because Pantheon was another one that you could build like kind of like a crit. You can do the jump, the stun, the heart stopper, and then as they're running away, throw the spear. That was exactly what I did, and almost like clockwork, they would die if I did that. Jump in, stun, heart stopper, spear, dead. And if I hit them with the spear, I would apologize to them. It slipped out of my hand. If I was eating popcorn earlier, that's what I would say. And in chat, I did all this for my own entertainment, okay? But Pantheon was one of my favorite champions too. And then of course the ulti where you can just just pop in anytime you want, any fight, anywhere. From SpongeBob, Pantheon Spear does crit damage when the enemy is low. Yeah. Yeah, I basically used the Gangplank rune setup for Pantheon as well. Because it worked. I was like, man, once you hit them with heart, because Heartstopper wouldn't outright kill them. But if they flashed away, I could just hit Q and just throw the spear. And then Twitch too, that was another one of my favorites. I probably still like him just as much, like probably a little bit more than Sona. Twitch was probably one of my favorite. Yeah, I would say it was one of my favorite champions to play with. He's a dirty rat, and then I always had the gangster skin. The trash talk with Twitch got a little, or with Twitch, not the character, not the site. That got a little graphic, okay? That got a little graphic. I made jokes about my enemies having rat babies after that match. After that whatever exchange we had. That was a little across the line, okay? A little bit, okay? But yeah, I did that. I mean, I said it. I gotta own it, right? That's I've read. I said these are some of the things that I have said as Twitch. That's why I like playing competitive games, but back then, okay, I may have taken it a little too far. I don't really say those types of things anymore. But yeah. So I don't know what it is. Sometimes in competitive games, we get a little too much into it, but it doesn't have to be that way. We're just having fun. It's just a game at the end of the day. Mafia Twitch, yeah. The Italian community complained about negative impact of organized crime implications. Oh, they did? Really? I didn't know that. Nobody said anything. Honestly, if I had known that, I wouldn't even. I mean, I don't know, man. I did like the Gangster Twitch skin, but if I had known that, I probably would. I was like, okay, I ain't gonna pick that skin. I remember when I was playing Gragas, um 99 told me not to pick the Moonshine skin because he was offended by it, and I listened to him. But I was gonna get that skin and play it. He was like, don't buy that skin, man. It's kind of offensive. I was like, okay, all right, all right. Now I know why. I didn't know people actually had problems with skins. I didn't like it when they made Talon white for one skin. I was like, man, if you're gonna make a black character, then make him black. When you turn on skin, even though fighting games did that, Hillbilly Grot. Why would they? Yeah, allow that. That's not. I'm going to assume that that's not offensive. If it is, I apologize um, for that. Yeah, I was going to pick that. I was going. Okay, gotcha. That I was going to pick that skin because Gragas was another one of my mains for a while. I liked playing Gragas. You could what I did was I would roll the barrel in front of them to get them to change direction so I could catch up to them. Do the belly bump, which I think stunned him. What else did he do? He did something else, didn't he? Oh yeah, he drank. He drank his little barrel, his little barrel of juice. I like weirdo characters. Okay, I like it's weirdo characters are fun. It's fun. It's okay to play the badass types, but I like these freaks that you play as a freak and they make them good. I will definitely play on that character like Twitch, Gragas. I never played Trundle. I actually didn't like Trundle, even though he pretty much fits that description, right? Urgot, that was another one that was like, oh man, I wish I had played this guy sooner. Zach, too damn goopy. Yeah, Zach. Zach was another one that I should have tried. Zach seems like someone that is up my alley. I did the Tom Green stand up joke with Hecarim. To listen to my who's, listen to them cloppity clop. I did that. I did just silly stuff. I tried to keep it silly, but with Twitch it got a little graphic. I'm sorry. And you never would have known if I didn't say it, but I'm gonna say it. All right. These are the types of things I've done. I think when we played, you didn't see me play Twitch. All right, just trying to get this belt to look better. I mean, looking back, League was fun. I just don't like playing it by myself. I know the others, they probably stopped playing it too. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. Last time I logged in, they like none of them hadn't played it in a long time, so I don't know. Oh, the ads are running. Uh, what happened here? Let's see. Why isn't the messages popping up for the ads? I wonder. I don't like them. I mean, if it weren't for the emotes, which I still haven't done yet, but if it weren't for the emotes, I probably wouldn't have even gone to fiddle it. To be honest, it was fine when I didn't have to worry about the ads cutting me off every hour, but it would be even more if I didn't set it to 3 minutes. But that's the only reason why I set it for 3 minutes. Okay, let's see. What am I looking at? Oh, okay. Yeah, we gotta smooth all that out. The belt is somewhat back, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of rough, and it's still not completely straight, but it is enough. It's enough for me to use as a reference. I'm just trying to get these finer details to make them better. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of it now. I'm thinking about all the other characters that I played on Twitch. I just or not Twitch, League, and I kind of forgot. Okay, let me see. Just flip this up. Going ahead and I have to define this. As you can see there, the edge kind of got lost right there. Let's see. Pre-sharp, draw sharp. That's what we're looking for. Uh-oh. When Zach attacked, he dropped pieces of himself and then he could gather them up for a small health. I remember that. Yes. Yes, I remember that. I never played with Zach though. I think that was the reason. I bought him, but I never tried him because Typo played him a lot. I was like, okay, yeah, he played him. Same thing with Rengar, but he played Rengar, so I played Kha'Zix instead. Kha'Zix was fun. Kha'Zix was another fun one. I never tried Rengar though. I did have him. Um, but yeah, that was generally how it went. Like I would play Kha'Zix, he would play Rengar. You know what's messed up? Every time he died, I would say that he lost all of his teeth in the woods. That's kind it's kind of messed up. Should have said that. Why do I have the jokes for my friends too? Well, we're supposed to say that for the enemy. It's not who I am anymore. Okay, those days are over. But yeah, I would make fun of my friends too for dying. I don't know why. I just did it. Thought it was funny. We don't roll like that no more. Kha'Zix over Rengar. Yeah, I like them. I enjoyed them. Isolated damage on the Q, more damage if it was a single target. Yeah, yeah. You catch people alone, you take them out, and then you get the stacks too. If you don't lose those stacks, same thing with Rengar, I believe. Uh, they just get stronger and stronger. You have to stop them from getting all their teeth or all their trophies or whatever the heck they got. Rengar did the stacks. Okay. I thought Kha'Zix did too. I thought he had some kind of stacking. I don't know, man. It's been so long since I played that game. I clearly do not remember everything about it. I could be thinking of something else. Or maybe does he have any AP moves, Kha'Zix? Maybe I'm thinking of that book that you can stack. I don't know. After six each level, you can improve your moves. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. Even though I played the guy, I actually don't remember. But I know I played him. Right, the evolutions. Yeah, 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 yeah. Man, it's been so long, and I know they got way more characters now. Woo! It kind of makes me not want to play it because just for that reason, because there's so many new characters. Last time I played it was in 2019. I went back to see. Somebody was telling me that I was telling people how I played Sona, and they were like, "Oh yeah, here's the closest thing to that would be like Dark Harvest Sona." So I came back for like 2 weeks and I tried it, and it was yeah, he was right. Like the person like Dark Harvest Sona was like the closest way of I played Sona, and I went back to doing exactly what I did before. Like, I was able to still get decent kills, and that like I said, that was only because I was playing with the other guy. He let me, he set that up for me. So I was like, yeah, let's get him. Let's get them all. We were in the same lane, and he let me. I was like, yeah, this is what I used to do, and I just did it. It was happening again. I think those scores are the last matches from that are still on my account. So I mean, um, they should be plus positive KDs from that time. I don't remember though. I have to see if I can log back in so I can see for myself. As people, it wasn't just about fun. You got to have the high. You got to get all the kills, right? That's how the community is. Any uh competitive game, that has a KDR, people are going to always look to that, for validation or confirmation of any kind of anything really, bragging rights, skill, whatever the case may be. For me, it was bragging rights. I was like, yeah, see all them kills I got? Yeah, and Sona, yeah, look at that. Double digits, no deaths sometimes no deaths. Maybe one death, maybe two deaths. Some of those matches still should be on, but I think they wiped the ones from 2015. I wish they didn't. Because when I logged back in, they didn't have all my matches anywhere, tracking on any site. And I was like, dang, I can't immediately prove the Prona bonus anymore like I could back when I was playing it regularly. Like, just look. Like I said, it wasn't all me. My team let me do it. My team helped me do it. All right, it was because of them that I was able to play Sona that way. I always knew that. I didn't acknowledge them. I didn't acknowledge that, very much back then. I was just saying Proto bonus, Proto bonus, Proto. That was me back then. I was just saying Proto. Oh, look, you said it. Proto bonus, Proto. I was just saying that over and over again. It was like, what the heck? What the heck is wrong with this? I lived for it. Okay, the enemy had to say it. I couldn't say it until the enemy said it. That was the rule. I said that. I specifically stated that in the chat. I said to my friends, I said, I can't say I'm a Prona bonus. I can't say I'm a Prona. The enemy has to say it. When the enemy says it, then it counts. All right. I can't just say it. If I say it, you guys won't believe me. They gotta say it. So that was the rule. That was the rule that I came up with. Because I felt like, I had some self-awareness. I knew I was, I know it was all bragging, right? So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say it. If the enemy says it, then it's true. If I say it, it doesn't mean anything because it's me saying it. I knew that. Yeah. When they say it, now I can oversay it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes. But I mean, and I knew this then. The reason why I was able to play, like I'm gonna emphasize this. The reason why I was able to play that way was because they allowed me to play that way. They weren't real. They weren't afraid to stray away from the meta and try different stuff, and they did it too. It's like, oh yeah, let me try this with this build, and that's kind of how we won a lot of games that way because people follow the meta because of esports, and when you don't do those things, it kind of throws people off. In itself, it's a strategy. I don't know if it would work against an actual professional team because we didn't play at that level, and a lot of people who those people did off meta stuff too, like the Shen, the movement boot Shen. Like if he dies, you can just run right back to the fight in like 2 seconds because of his movement speed. People weren't doing that until they saw one of those esports people do that. So I mean, there are cases where they don't follow the meta either, but then them doing it kind of becomes the meta. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy when it comes to meta. Conservative jerk. I do this. You're all friends and working together towards the same goal instead of 5 jerks for every man, with every man for themselves attitude. Yeah, I think the worst thing that I've done was I made fun of them for if they got killed too, which that's I don't know, they sometimes they didn't always take it as a joke. I that's I'm sorry. I apologize to them already, of course. I was just playing, but sometimes it got a little like, man, what's wrong with you, man? It was those moments that provided the growth needed. But it probably just culminated to me just not playing League at all, honestly. Because who wants to be stressed out playing a game? I can't do it. I don't get how people do it. Even if I were even if I were one of those people who were living off streaming, I don't know if I could. Even if they were paying me, if people were paying me, if I could play a game that I did not like playing. I can't do it. I don't know if I could do that under any circumstance. League is one of those games. It's fun with friends, but after a while, it gets to the point where you're like, man, you can feel like no one's having fun. Especially when you're on a losing streak, nobody's having fun. It's like, why are we here right now? We can just go, I don't know, play something fun. Can't do it. Seen people do this, Call of Duty, raging the entire time, but they queue up, queue up the next game. I'm like, I can't do that, man. I'm like, why are you playing this? And I actually asked people this, and they were like, I don't know, man. Wow, all right. Not that I'm above that. I've been there too. Like I said with League, but when it's it now. Nowadays, if I'm not having fun with something, I don't play it. Hang on, I got a telephone call. Okay, I'm back. Instead of five, okay, we'll see. Get paid enough, you'll do it. Yeah, you're probably right. I still though, man, like when I'm not having fun with something, I just stop playing it immediately. I think that has happened already on stream. I was having a tough time with Doom because I'd made a mistake, and I was like, okay, we're gonna stop now. This is enough. That's enough for me for today. Okay, it looks a little more refined. It's still a little rougher on the edges, but um, there's going to be a point where these details are going to look better. Okay, let me see. The side of this belt is, I don't know what happened there. I see like this little scar here. I'm going to try to get rid of that. Let's see here. But yeah, I mean, to an extent, there's like a competitive edge sometimes, but it's I don't take it super serious. We don't go down that road. Okay, let's see. Uh, like I said, it's just at the end of the game, it's just a game. We're all playing a game, and there's no point. There's no point in taking anything in the video game seriously. It's not even real. Oh my goodness. What that edge there? I can see. Oh, yeah, let me try to smooth that out. See, that's the problem with smoothing things out. It kind of sometimes it just melts it. I'm gonna try to move this back a little bit. But yeah, sometimes I miss playing League, but I'm the only thing that I miss about it is playing it with people who want to play it. Not the actual game itself. Otherwise, I would just play League. I can't play that. I cannot solo queue in that game. I just can't. The people who play that game in solo queue are insufferable. All right, they are insufferable. Even when things go well, it's like they just it's not a great time. Oh, are we going in? Oh yeah, we are going in. Let me just beef that up some. Hang on, give me a second. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna work on this for a little bit longer. I'm going to I got a lot of fix I got a lot to fix here, so I'm definitely going to try to get some of this done. Let's see here. I'm doing some stuff here. Oh, I see. That is to say I saw. Okay. You can't do it, call me. I'll do it for you. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you got if you're actually paying bills, uh, you know, playing league, then that's a different story. I guess I would have no choice but to put up with it. But that's not the case, so I don't have to. Um, let's see here. I want to try to work on the sides now. Try to kind of enhance these edges a little bit. But oh my bad. Yeah, I don't even remember the first time. The call just sometimes it resets my my mental stack. I actually don't remember reading that the first time. They got contracts and stuff, so they naturally have a different mindset than ours. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And of course, if it was a job to play league, yeah, you're. I mean, well, on paper, you should have the skills to pay the bills. It just doesn't seem enjoyable from an observer standpoint, especially having played the game. Like I play it for fun, and sometimes it's not enjoyable at all. So uh, I can't imagine what it's like playing with people who you might not like. You might have people in the team. I'm sure they're not all friends. They all got to live together. You know, gamers. I don't know. Sometimes you hear things of how some gamers live. It can't be. I highly doubt that they're all model um housemates. you know, highly doubt that. I like having my own space, first of all. So I'm already going to be in a situation that that's not favorable to me. So I mean, I can't imagine how it must be for them. Probably not eating healthy. Got all those energy drinks. That affects the way you think. It affects your mood having all that sugar and whatever else what else they put in there. I was playing league. I was drinking Mountain Dew High Voltage. It's very good. It's like my favorite soda ever. But I noticed that it was affecting the way I was playing league. I feel a lot better when I stopped drinking that. That's probably the reason too. It was like it was like it was like spice. Yeah, I don't drink that stuff. I don't drink that stuff anymore. Not some asshole assassinated your friend, your housemate, your teammate, your contract mate. It's a real person to you. Turkish delight, yeah. Sometimes two voltages. But yeah, it's yeah. That one time I mean I realized that I was like, man, I was like, yo, this is I feel like this is affecting my mood. So I stopped drinking it. And then I found out later they were putting stuff in it that I think it was brominated vegetable oil or something like that. It was some ingredient in it that was not good for you at all. And I stopped drinking soda, period, for a while. I think they said the healthiest soda is like Sierra Mist, and of course, all the the fake sugar, you know, sugar substitutes and sweeteners and all that stuff. And then I noticed it like when I stopped drinking Mountain Dew High Voltage, I actually felt better. I was like, oh wow. I was like, wow. I wonder. I was like, what is that? What was that? Was that really, is that really affecting me? I don't know. I actually don't know if it really was or not. It could have just been me, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I felt better when when I drink less soda, my mood actually improved. I remember the Turkish delight in that story. I wanted to have some as a kid. Yeah, I imagined how it would taste. I remember reading the line, "The Witch in the Wardrobe." Um, I forgot. I kind of like I have the memory of imagining how it tasted, but I can't compare it to anything right now. Maybe like a root beer float that was warm and still carbonated. I don't know. Definitely sweet, but like a syrupy sweet. That's how I imagined it. I don't remember the specifics of a Turkish delight. I just know that that witch could just make it for you. She would just, and then you drink it, and then like she could control you or something like that. I don't know. And you kept drinking more, and she would have more control over you. Something like that, right? Isn't that what happened? I don't really remember that story too well, but I did read it in school. I heard they had bull urine and taurine and the Monster Red Bull and the like. Oh yeah, and a lot of those are like sponsored by Red Bull. Like even if I had a Red Bull sponsorship, I don't know if I would actually drink it. Like yeah, hey, I would pose with it, like yeah, ooh, ooh, but I wouldn't actually drink it. uh, I didn't drink them before. Every time I see a can, I think about that. I drank Rippets. I had a Red Bull. I think Rippets taste better, but and I just had some Monsters from time to time, but I don't drink any of that. I don't like the way I feel when I drink energy drinks. Period. Um, they make my teeth feel soft. First of all, I feel like my teeth are gonna fall out. Then they send me to the bathroom, but I mean, they do their job though. They do keep you up. It's only because like if I've done some 24-hour shifts in the past, and Monsters help me through that sometimes. But I didn't like drinking them. I was like, man, if I wasn't on it, I would not be drinking this shit. If I wasn't on this shift, I would not be drinking this at all. And then I had the energy drink gum, the energy gum. I tried that too. Sometimes both energy gum and the Monster. But yeah, that's not. They're not very good. I don't like them. And cut spits on the floor. Yeah, no, I would like put it up to my lips, but I wouldn't actually drink it. I'd be like, it would still be the same amount. Just a little, whatever touched my lips that would be the only transfer of liquids. I don't want to need energy in a can. I feel like you should have enough natural energy to do. Yeah, exactly. You get enough sleep. And I mean, at the most, I'll have like 1 cup of coffee, and even then, it's like 8 ounces or 6 ounces, 6 to 8 ounces. One of that. I don't even drink juice like that anymore. Like if I drink any juice, it's like that much in the cup, and then the rest is 2 glasses of water. Like I'll do that, if I just want something sweet, because I do like sweets. I'm not. I have not completely sworn off sweets. I do drink a very small amount of juice, and then the rest is just water. And every now and then I'll have like a Reese's peanut butter cup, or M&M, or maybe like a soft cookie. But I don't really, other than that, my snacks are like peanuts, unsalted peanuts, or plantain chips, something like that. Those plantain chips are good though. They're a little salty, but I like them. I like them to the point where I won't get any other chips. They're pretty delicious. Let's see, draw sharp. Okay, here we go. I got to redefine that because when I smoothed it out, I dulled it, and now that's a little bump there. I think we can just pull that down. I just want to make sure that this belt looks better than it did. Okay, sorry, I kept spending all this time on it. Um, I want to smooth these out. I'm gonna work on this a little bit offline too. You drink tainted water. You drink Crystal Light. No, I have filtered. I've run my water through two different filters. I don't know if it's. I mean, it does taste better. I don't drink just tap water. I don't even drink bottled water because I don't drink out of plastic anymore. I even stopped doing that. I drink out of glass. But I filter my water, and yeah, I'm not running into the bathroom when I drink water, so I feel like it's working. Multiple filters. Yeah, so microplastics. I don't know. I don't. You don't know what the effects of what you're consuming really are. I don't know for sure if that's a thing, but just in case. I don't. Actually, I actually seen some of my plastic. Like I had like a gym cup. Like you mix a protein shake in. I've actually seen the plastic coming off of it. Like I had it for years, and that could happen with water bottles too. So I was like, all right, you know what? No more plastic. I still have plastic cups, of course, but I just don't really drink out of them like that. I drink out of glass. That's it. They say that stuff gets in your bloodstream. It can block your arteries. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's not good having any kind of plastic in you, right? Just trying to help the planet. No, I'm trying to help myself. Okay. That's a humanity. Humanity has to, as a whole, has to act in order to do anything that will create a net positive for the planet. There's a lot of plastic laying around already. I try to keep the area around my apartment clean. I actually go and pick trash up. I used to do that as a kid though for allowance, so I'm not adverse to it, and it's kind of become a habit of mine now. But if I see any trash laying around, I pick that shit up, man. No, I don't litter. I don't even litter. I don't litter at all. But there's only so much you can do. Everybody's got to do that in order for it to make a difference. That was actually I used to say that actually. I got that from I think it was Red Planet. It was Val Kilmer who said it, who died. He died recently. Um that was the movie. He said that I think it was Red. Yeah, he was like, "Fuck this planet," and then he was on Mars or something. And then I started saying that as a catchphrase, and I guess he started saying that too. So yeah, that's where it came from. That's where it originated from. I got it from a movie, and then it kind of spread around the group. Um, as he was slamming plastic bottles to the ground. I carry trash in my pocket for 15 miles before I drop it on the ground. Yeah, well that is a military habit. Um, I carry it until I get to a trash can, and I put it in the trash, or I take it directly to a trash. But if I can, then I'll carry it with me. You're not supposed to leave stuff behind, no trace. That's what they used to say. But I never liked littering anyway, so it was right up my alley. I'm a little lax on recycling. I don't fully recycle, but I do. I separate it from time to time, just not all the time. I'm not gonna sit here and like I'm the patron saint of environmentalism, but I do try to make the effort. Smooth this out. Take only pictures, leave only footprints. Sometimes not even that. No blade of grass bent. Oh, why did that scrunch up? What in the world? Scrape, flatten. And we'll flatten it, I guess. Sometimes with these finer details, I think I am. Well, I mean, like I said, I've already solved this problem. I make these details separate and then I just attach them later. I'm going to have to do that for a belt buckle too. Like I'm down to the point where I can do jewelry, so I'm doing that. But this is an older sculpt, so I got to work with the older method. doing, making the changes now mid workflow is just going to make it take longer, and I'm just trying to get it done. But I don't want to half-ass it either. So we're just going to have to do better on the next one. But this one, but my goal of making the last scope better, making this scope better, than the next scope better than the last is working. This scope is better than the last, and the one that I'm currently working on is better than this one. So, mission complete on that front. Makes me feel alone sometimes, like I'm the only Planeteer left. Well, I assure you, you're not. Okay, you may not have a ring, but the power is yours. I don't even know, like, if you had to choose, what Planeteer ring would you have? I can tell you, well, I mean, at least not directly. Fire does not help the planet, okay? Not directly. Heart, yeah. Heart's pretty, yeah, you know what? That's the one that I think most people would not pick. I'm not a swimmer. Would I pick water? I don't know. Water, wind? Wind, maybe wind. You could fly with wind. Why not? I'm the most heart, yeah. Talk to animals. Yeah, that's actually a good thing to have. Earth. Earth is another one. Let our powers combine. Maybe wind or earth, I would say. I don't know. For me, fire would be too easy, right? I'll probably destroy some stuff before I actually help anything if I had a fire ring. So, just based on that alone, I would choose a different ring. I'm not a pyromaniac. I'm just saying, I don't think I don't think I should have a fire ring. I just don't personally think, unless they gave me a fire ring, I wouldn't protest. But I'd be like, oh man, I really got to show restraint now. And I guess that would be the same thing as wind or water, because they can be equally as destructive. Just ask any hurricane. I'm just saying, a little easier with fire. With the elements, yeah, to instill in the children that human decency is natural and should be used. 90s cartoons were really low key raising us and the maniacs. Well, I'm sure that most people have parents that teach them things that they need to know. It's just there's nuance, right? The reason why I pick up trash is because of my parents. That was my allowance. That was what I had to do for allowance, and then it just became ingrained in me after that. So they're the ones who taught me not to litter. And Captain Planet, watching Captain Planet, kind of just emphasized what I was already taught. And I'm sure most people, even though they say, that was my, this is my TV family, all that stuff. I'm sure that most people um, can say the same thing, because I don't think that's a very good thing to be solely raised by TV. But no one's really saying that. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't think that's a. I don't think that's a good idea sometimes. But yes, those little songs they had on Fox Kids and and Nickelodeon about equality and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember them. I remember those. Dare, jump rope for heart. I remember that stuff. It was not. It was not forgotten. But I never. I'm not really a drug person anyway, so I don't take drugs. All right, so that needs a little bit more refinement. I think I'm going to do the belt as a whole. I'm going to stop it here. Okay. I want to thank everyone who watched. If you're watching, if you're hung out in the stream, watching the VOD or on YouTube, thank you as well. I'm going to I'm going to come back tomorrow. Do I want to do this again, or do I want to do a different? Because I got a lot of projects I'm still working on. I'm not sure yet, but there will be another art stream tomorrow, most likely, if there is nothing that comes up. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I need to get another mouse. I still been putting that off because what you're hearing, if that's coming up on the computer, that's because of my mouse. There's a short in the wire or something. I don't know.